How much should the Chicago Bulls pay Josh Giddey this summer as a restricted free agent? That is a big question that Bulls fans and everybody's talking about. Big Dave, it is the biggest thing on Arturas Karnišovas' to-do list this summer.
What?
And everybody's wondering, will the Bulls play hardball in any way? Will they use the leverage they have in any way? The leverage being basically one, if any, teams with cap space expressing interest with Josh Giddey this summer, and try to get a cheaper deal? Or do they make Josh Giddey happy, reward him for the back third, the post-All-Star break numbers he put up, and double down on the confidence they had in him making the Caruso trade a year ago to say, you are a big piece of our future? Where do you think we all are now in the Josh Giddey contract discussion?
Man, we aware the Bulls kind of always are. We're in the middle on this.
Right there in the middle.
We're in the middle. I think there's honest logic on both sides, and we know the number that has been thrown around. That's
most recently by Michael Scotto, Hoops Hype, 5 years, 150, much like the Jalen Suggs deal, other guards of that draft class.
Yeah, Jalen, I believe the first year was 32 for him, and then I believe the next year it went down and went down. So around, let's say, $26 to $29 million a year for a guy like Josh Giddey. So I was intrigued by that. So I started looking at these contracts about just per year what guys were making who were making around that kind of money. I started at 29. Just going to guys who make from like 29 to 30 mil. So you get a Tyler Hero, Kristaps Porzingis, you get a Devin Vassell, you get DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole, Jeremy Grant, Hartenstein getting 30 million, Drew Holiday getting 30 million. Once you get up into that territory, those guys.
Yeah.
And then like below that, you're getting guys like Nicholas Claxton making 27. You get a Miles Bridges making 27. You get John Collins making 26. Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Simons, R.J. Barrett, and it goes down like that. And the first thing that popped in my head, Matt, was there is not a distinct difference between those guys until you get to a Drew Holiday. And then you're like, and what's Drew making? $30 million like a year on the dot. Then it starts changing because you can argue that Giddey is kind of in that kind of, player, you know what I'm saying, right there with those guys, kind of stuck in the middle, whether you feel he's better, whether you feel he's worth, whether you're looking at production, whatever you're looking at, skill set and all that stuff. I think he's kind of in the middle with those guys. So I think he's right in assuming that that's exactly where his contract should lie. But I think right at 29 is where I would have it maxed out, because I don't see how I'm paying you what Isaiah Hartenstein I feel is much more important, and I feel Drew Holiday is a much better player. So 29, I think he should cap out at. I still wouldn't give it to 29 personally. I would be looking more like at 26, 27, and then going from there. But he's in that kind of realm, Matt, with those kind of players.
Yeah. And look, depending on where you are in your career achievements collectively are different. Holiday's been in the league a long time.
Yes.
Hartenstein, been around a while. Hartenstein's a key piece on a team that right now, as we are in the Final Four conference finals, looking like the odds-on favorites to win the title this year.
Very important piece.
Drew Holiday is a two-time NBA champion.
Yes.
Drew Holiday is a two-time All-Star.
Yes.
Drew Holiday is a six-time NBA All-Defensive Team selection.
Correct.
Those kinds of things get you paid in the NBA.
Without a doubt.
Where Giddey is now as a expiring rookie contract, restricted free agent, first big post-rookie deal contract of his career, has he earned a payday like that? In my opinion, no. But the NBA paydays are what they are these days, and a mid-tier player, depending on the team and the circumstances, can make that much money.
Exactly.
Giddey, I would not at all be surprised if a month from now, when we see the figures, the final figures of Josh Giddey and the Bulls coming to terms on a deal, and I think it will happen. I honestly think it'll happen before he signs an offer sheet with somebody else and dares the Bulls to match it. I think they're going to skip that part. I think they shouldn't skip that part.
No.
I think they will.
That's crazy.
If it is somewhere close to $30 million average annual salary, I will not be surprised.
At all.
I will be happier if it's closer to 20 than 30.
Yes.
Because by and large, I still, and y'all out there, the Giddey committee, you can call me a hater. I don't care. I don't think they should pay him at all because I don't think he's someone you build a legitimate contender around. Because of the flaws in his game.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So, look, it's like, what number would you be happy with? It's a question I hear a lot from Bulls fans when we talk about the Giddey contract. Yeah. And to me, it's like, it's a moot point. It's a rhetorical question that I can't answer
because you don't want to give him anything.
Correct. Talk to me about the figures of a Josh Giddey sign and trade, and then I can throw some figures at you, and it's about what this other team wants to pay Josh Giddey. But look, I'm beyond all of that, and now have just resigned myself and made peace as best I can with the fact that the team that is going to pay Josh Giddey, and in my opinion, overpay him, is going to be the Bulls.
It's going to be the Bulls.
Because they went out and targeted him specifically in a trade.
Exactly.
They believe in him as a core piece moving forward.
Exactly.
So I guess the only thing that I am left hoping for is that it is a modest enough figure that it gives AK some remaining flexibility if a different opportunity presents itself when you're talking about adding legitimate star talent to this roster. Because as much as I want to believe in Modest Buzelis' star potential, he's a rookie. Who knows how long it'll take him to reach whatever that ceiling is. It probably won't be next year or the year after that. And meanwhile, you're talking about paying Josh Giddey and then maybe paying Kobe White a big contract the year after that to keep him around. That's your nucleus. Where is that nucleus getting you?
Where you at? Exactly where you are.
Play-in tournament.
Right there.
But home court play-in tournament. If that's the goal and that's the roster and that's the allotment of who's getting paid what, sure, Josh Giddey's going to get a chunk of that majority of the Bulls salary cap figures. And it is what it is.
Stuff like that is going to happen, Matt. I mean, when Tobias Harris is making like $25 million, he's going to get a check. Right. He's going to get those things. And
the guys who put up numbers on bad teams.
Sure, exactly.
Still get paid.
Exactly. Somebody's got to give them a check. Where we will always agree, Matt, is they do not need to outbid themselves on this deal. He has no leverage. Josh Giddey really doesn't have any leverage. The only team that could really give him that check is is Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. That's the only team that can really give him that. And they are not going to do that. They're not.
I think they have other plans in place.
Yeah, something tells me that they're thinking about other things, all right? Like when they traded Mikal Bridges for 5 first-round picks. They got other things on their mind. They are not offering him a contract. So you're betting against yourself. So to go in and just overpay, from the jump, which he is correct. That is my fear as well, is that the Bulls say, man, we got to have this guy. We got to have him no matter what. Let's give him this money. He got to get it. Here's $30 million. Oh, God. Why? It's not necessary to do when you can get this negotiation. Again, this is why I brought up the much-beloved one-year deal that I would say to everyone out there. Because if you don't find that deal and you don't come to that agreement, that's what you should kind of approach it as. If you really want to keep him and hold on to him, I'm saying. Yeah. Now, I don't think it will get to that point, Matt. I think they will both come to a deal, a deal on a contract. Giddey has stated he wants to be here. He wants to play here. This is a team that is showing they want to build around him, and they like his skill set going forward for this squad. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's going to change that, especially with all the fans that he has here in a big city like this in Chicago, and having all the fans of Australia, loving it here, seeing him in a Bulls jersey doing his thing. I don't think he's going anywhere at all. But the Bulls need to be smart about this, man, and what they want to give him. And understand, don't just be a victim of the moment that you saw in a month. Analyze the entire thing when you were putting him on the bench because he couldn't play in the fourth quarter, when he was struggling in those games, when teams like the Miami Heat, when they really decided to play the Bulls, didn't prioritize Josh Giddey as that guy that was going to win. They prioritized Vooch, they prioritized Kobe White, and they took those two out. Josh Giddey had a solid game. It didn't get you anything, as far as close to a victory. So let the league set what it's supposed to be and then move from there. That I can live with. If the league tells you it's 29, okay, that's an argument I can't have. You'd be like, all right, well, the league said that's what he's getting. That's what he's getting. If the league tells you it's 24, start there. Start right there at 24 and don't go, super high on it. That's a nice chunk of money for a young man, dog. So I think he's a solid player. I probably like him a little more than my main man, Matt, does. But, man, dog, you cannot just bid against yourself and overpay for this. You are in a position of power, a rare place for the Bulls to be.
And look, even if hypothetically the Bulls let him test the market and it comes back not 29, not 24 when we're talking average annual salary on a multi-year deal, but no takers. Like,
that's a possibility.
No takers. Then it's not like the Bulls would insultingly be like, all right, Josh, how about like 4 years, 40?
Right.
Like, that's not going to happen.
Right.
In even the wildest of hypothetical circumstances, that's not going to happen. That's the like, well, they don't need to be insulting about it thing that some people who think Giddey should get paid are saying.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. I'm just talking about like, if it's somewhere between 18 and 20, I would be thrilled as someone who doesn't want Josh Giddey around. If they get into that 18 to 20, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
But again, like I think we're gonna be talking about it 25 minimum.
Yeah.
And we all have to the Bulls have to meet the cap floor at least.
At least.
People gotta get paid.
Yeah, man.
It's just about who gets paid. They can still keep cap flexibility for that 2026 free agent class with other money coming off of their books, even with Josh Giddey here. Then it just becomes, can you be a free agent destination and make legitimate pitches to free agents next summer? / what are you doing with Kobe White when it comes to the other financial decisions that AK has as his most pressing decisions to think about while getting Giddey's contract signed?
Right.
Those are problems for another day.
Yeah.
And I think most likely scenario, we'll be sitting here in the early hours of free agency and hear about a Giddey deal.
I think you're right. I think you're right, man. Both parties want to make the deal happen.
Right.
So I think it's definitely going to happen.
And that's all well and good. I hope I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. And you know how much I love being right, Dave.
Oh, it's your jam.
It's better than anything.
Oh, it's your jam.
Being able to
jam.
just make jokes at people who are dumber than you and tell them that you were, in fact, the smart one in this situation.
It's his favorite.
It is a drug to me.
That's why he's on Facebook.
I haven't looked on Facebook in a
just
decade.
Just for people who doubted him in his life.
No,
you still suck?
It's why I will occasionally engage with the morons on Twitter. But I hope I'm wrong. If the Bulls are this gung-ho about committing to and building around Josh Giddey, then I hope I'm wrong. And at the end of Josh Giddey's Bulls contract that he's about to sign, it will be worth it and then some because of what he is doing in a Bulls jersey and where the team is. I hope I'm wrong in thinking that I won't be wrong. Like I
want to be wrong too.
I want the Bulls to be good.
We want them to be good.
I want the Bulls to be good.
God, we want them to be so good.
I don't think Josh Giddey being your highest or second highest paid player is the way to get there. I don't.
He deserves to get a check, though.
Here you go, Josh. Buy a Maybach. I don't know.
Prove him wrong, Josh Giddey.
Sure. Prove him wrong,
baby. Ball out.
That third of a season was not a fluke.
Ball out, Josh Giddey.
Every night, triple-double. Annual All-NBA player selection.
24, 10, and 9.
Hall of Famer.
That's what he was averaging. Get on him, baby.
That's going to do it for this mini pod. You can catch all of our full-length, hour-long CHGO Bulls podcast episodes by subscribing right here to that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. For Big Dave, I'm Peck. Till next time.